104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern in
there
the
we
studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode 125. While Jay turns his cell phone
It's
down.
always something,
Yeah, we're getting it.
They can put a man on the moon.
You think after 125
allegedly
times that we've done this, we get it right.
Wait,
But
do I have my mic? Sometimes it's
before you guys start thinking that this is some sort of bit Jay and I do, it's like screwing it up at the beginning. This is legit.
This is how it
we
goes.
Actually sit in here every damn week and we do this, and we're like, oh my god, what a nightmare!
So bad.
Anyway, I'm Mike the Intern.
Bad.
This is Jay Stevens. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 125. This week was my pick. I am Vanessa Guillen, which is the story of a Army member who went missing and then was subsequently found, chopped up into pieces, buried outside of Fort Hood, Texas, after being sexually assaulted by her, I guess, superior.
How can this happen on an Army base?
Well, first of all, in the context of Fort Hood, it is like a major city. You're talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. And so if you look at it like that, yeah, it is the military, and there should be everyone on the up and up. But just like in anything in life, there are always a bad element in anything. And so if you look at it like a city, you know, as much as you want to believe that your city's safe and you don't have drugs or contraband or stuff that's going on that's nefarious in your city, you are living with blinders on, because there's literally nothing you can do that. Even though it is on a base, I'm sure there are all kinds of stuff going on in bases that size. And Fort Hood is, like I said, a city. It's massive. It is huge. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. So, you know, like anything else in life, there's always a bad element. And that's kind of what this documentary focuses on, is how the story of this woman kind of blew up so big that they were actually able to enact change through a horrific accident. But her
shout out
sisters,
to her family and sisters,
dude, yeah, big time. And you kind of feel bad for these girls because they lost their childhood, because they lost their sister, and then they just started working with lawyers to get change in how, when things of sexual assault happen in the military, it's handled a different way. You had told the story once about going to military school, right?
It was a threat.
It never actually happened. Did you like tour it?
They took me down to tour it. Yeah, scared me straight.
And like you were leaving, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then you left and you look in your pocket, and there's a note that says, "Run, don't go here."
I was gonna dip out. No way, man.
You're just gonna run away.
It's good. It was a good thing it didn't all go that way.
So did you learn your lesson?
I mean, I don't know. Here I am, can't even work a cell phone for a Dark Side episode. So,
you know, I'm a big supporter of our military. My stepdad career, my best friend is, we do lunch with the hero. So again, I want to be clear here. When we talk about the things that are in this documentary, we're not saying that all veterans, all people in the military are bad. I already said it. There are always a bad element in anything that you do, whether it's the music you listen to. There are dirtbag musicians. There are dirtbag DJs like us. There are dirtbag cab drivers and dirtbag cooks and dirtbag police officers and dirtbag doctors and insurance agents and lawyers and politicians. Like I'm saying here is that in every facet of life, there's always going to be a bad element. It's just human nature, and it's something that we all have to strive to be above and do better. But in this case, it really breaks your heart to see that a lot of women have been going through this for a long time.
It was amazing to see how many came forward after this, you know.
It was amazing. We will continue with this very hard story. I'm Vanessa Guillen. Next, Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode 125. This was my pick. I am Vanessa Guillen, and I'm going to be honest with you here. Sometimes we do these and we don't really know whose turn it is. And this is one of the cases where I didn't really know anything about this, and Jay put me on the spot. So what do we watch next week?
Well, that happens
and
sometimes.
I went on my cell phone.
Like,
I was like,
no, what are
there's
we going
a
to watch?
documentary we haven't seen yet. Let's watch that one.
I mean, so
in hindsight, you know, I kind of wish I would have picked something a little bit more lighthearted or a little less crazy, because this documentary it's a horrific story. It's horrific what this woman had to go through, and anyone else that's been sexually assaulted, male or female, in the military. But I was like, man, this is a rough subject that Jay and I are
Downer,
going to
yeah.
talk about.
I would give a shout out to that Tim Miller, that EquiSearch guy. He's in this one as well. This guy, his origin story is it happened to his daughter, and then now he's out there helping families left and right. You see this guy on all kinds of these searching for missing people things. Him and his company are out there doing it, man. So shout out to that guy.
Texas Killing Fields, dude.
Turned a bad situation into something really positive.
As soon as and that's the thing that we'll get into, because when this happened and she went missing, at first they were like, we have no idea where she is. And they're like, well, how can you not know where she is? She was on base.
Yeah.
And then when the sister goes there, like, you want to go in her room? And she's like, what do you mean? Isn't this an open investigation? Did you find her IDs? Like, yeah, I got them in my pocket.
Yeah, it was pretty nonchalant.
It was like, what the hell are you doing here, guys? Again, they reiterate that the military has its own way of dealing with, like, when someone breaks the law as a citizen, police, feds, all that stuff handle it. When it's in the military handle it. And unfortunately, that department is severely understaffed. There's a backlog. They don't have a whole lot of stuff. And in addition to that, the crew that was dealing with this was extremely green and really had no idea what the hell they were doing until the feds finally came in and started to do something about it. So early on, it was like, what the hell is going on? The family weren't getting answers. And so they went and searched on their own. And that's when they brought the EquiSearch guy out that we met in the Texas Killing Fields. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, golly, they actually helped.
I've seen him in his company for years on other missing children things too.
It's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
Yeah, it's great.
And his knowledge as far as being able to pull this off, you know what I mean? Because you got police officers that dedicate their life to this stuff and they know what the hell they're doing. But this guy comes in with a whole nother way of doing it, and it seems to work. But he definitely, it's crazy that we literally just did that documentary and he's still paying it forward after seeing that, him in there. So yeah, big props to him for that. We'll talk more about I Am Vanessa again next, Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. .7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode 125 this week, discussing I Am Vanessa Guillen. My mom, being a nurse at Fort Carson, retiring out of Fort Carson, and then my stepdad retiring out of Fort Carson, I think about a year before that. Anyway, whenever I watched this documentary, I had talked to her after it, and I was like, man, they really make it sound like this happens a lot, to men and women.
That was a weird thing to men too.
Yeah, and a lot of the times when it's involving your superior, when you're in the military, you're trained that's the person, right? That it goes from God to them to you, right? That's the way it's done. And so if something happens involving a sexual assault, harassment, whatever, from that person, what are you supposed to do? A lot of the times they won't say anything because they're afraid that, they're a troublemaker, they're not in line, or if you do bring it to your supervisor, it just gets forgotten, or squashed, or just put to the side. And based on the way that the commanders in Fort Hood handled this situation with Vanessa Guillen, why else wouldn't you think that?
Yeah.
You got some kid that goes missing that's supposed to be working on base and is gone. You go to superior, like, I didn't see her. And that's it.
Yeah, very, very sketchy.
And had they not found the body, do you even think that those dudes would have been charged?
Right, exactly.
People probably would have still be serving.
So this was a good example, though, of a positive way that social media can be used.
Essentially,
Twitter, hashtag.
That started the pressure.
People out. Hey, it happened to me too. It happened to me too. So this was the positive. There's a lot of negatives with social media. This was one of the positive.
They got the pressure on the right people. The family hired an incredible attorney who worked pro bono for him because they didn't have any money. And she did everything she could to get these girls in front of senators to initially get this act changed, which now, if there is a sexual assault or something like that, an outside entity handles the case.
Oh, there you
which
go.
That, again, it's what they were trying to get through didn't actually get through, but then a redone version did get through. So, sometimes it's not perfect, but it's still progress. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it was incredible to see that it started with, this family that they couldn't find their girl. And then all of a sudden it became this national movement that lasted for years because the girls were still going to DC, meeting with senators, and it was basically bipartisan support. I think it was one of the first times they got everyone together to do it. They tried with Trump, couldn't get it pushed through because again, they wanted to change some things in the bill, but then with Biden, they pushed it through. And again, there was only I think 10 nays against the whole thing. Okay. So I don't know how you'd vote against something like that, but I think one of them actually said I'm voting against it because it's not exactly what it should be. It should be more, you know what I mean? But at the same time,
you can't win them all.
You can't win them all. And again, props to a 16-year-old girl for basically getting legislation passed.
Just not stopping and just sticking to it, man.
In memory of her sister. But yeah, back to what I was saying. If the EquiSearch dude did not find those bodies, that dude would probably still be in the military.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thought. We will get to our conclusions next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio one more time. It's Dark Side of the Stream, episode 125, discussing I Am Vanessa Guillen. So how many hashtags would you give this documentary?
2.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, now, listener or viewer or whatever, don't take this. When we rate these things, it's not that we're rating the story or the circumstances or saying, oh, the loss of this girl's life is only a 2 hashtag documentary. It sucked. It wasn't about that.
How it was presented, how if there's twists and really, this was just kind of like a news story, basically.
Yeah,
a long news story.
And it was. I think I would probably be at 2.5. I mean, I wasn't. It was a crazy, crazy story, and you feel for the family, and you feel for the soldier, and you feel for everyone that's been assaulted sexually while trying to serve their country. Something that I hold extremely dear to my heart and give thanks as much as I possibly can for. You would think that that's hard enough to sign on a dotted line saying I'm willing to give my life for my country, and then you've got to worry about some jerk CO guy inside sexually assaulting you or harassing you. That shouldn't be the way it goes down, and unfortunately, or hopefully they're getting that changed. But yeah, I'm about the same with you. Jay, what is our documentary for next
with all this talk about UFOs and UAPs and mysterious, and the government finally talking about it, a moment of contact about a time a UFO landed in Brazil.
Allegedly. And a lot of people had experiences with this one. Like it's Brazil's Roswell, basically.
Yeah, literally the government and everybody was talking about it. So down there.
Relive Dark Side of the Stream on our 104.7 The Cave app as a podcast or on our website, 1047thecave.com. You can watch us do it live every Thursday from 9 till 10 or 6 till 7 p.m. on Jay's show.
Call us up. We'll come over to your house and do it live from your house and living room.
Jay may do that.
We can all stream together, guys.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to work out some sort of payment plan.
That could be a good contest. We give away live Dark Side. We all watch a movie.
Watch it
Bring
together.
your own phone because
and then we'll mess up the equipment at some point. Mm-hmm. All the bits that we do inside the show will be there. That's actually
Michael. Drink your beer.
I'll drink your beer or water. Either way.
Bad gig, actually.
Right. And it'll be cheap. Again, I'm Mike the Intern. This is Jay Stevens reminding you we watch movies so you don't have to. It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.